more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations.
Phase 2 of the Track and Signals project for the full Metro Blue Line begins June 29th and requires replacement bus service until August 19th. The Metro Green Line will also need replacement bus service at select stations for several dates of the Blue Line maintenance period. Sign up for rider alerts and learn about replacement bus station locations and dates at metrotransit.org/track-signals. Again, that's metrotransit.org/track-signals.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Visit during free Thursday nights. Every week from 5 to 9 p.m., there's something new to explore. Enjoy date-friendly events like artist talks, performances, and exhibition openings, or explore art-making open library hours and exhibition tours. Settle into your weekend among community. Free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low of 53, then Thursday, sunshine with a high of 71. 2026-27 Broadway series packages are available now through Hennepin Arts. It's the perfect way to enjoy the best of Broadway all year long in Minnesota. Learn more and get your package today at hennepinarts.org.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagita, all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, we're going to have our friend Bob Blake from Red Lake, Solar Bear with the Solar News and Sports on in just a moment here. And then we'll be ending the show up with Wendy with another big update of what's going on with our relatives, our sacred animals. So really excited about that. Want to bring Bob on right now and give him a big ahoo. How's it going? How's it going, Bob? Great to see you as always.
Hey, Robert. Good to be here. How are you doing?
Hanging in there. I mean, you know, we're used to all these 3 or 4 major things happening every day, and today is no different. And but we have a lot to talk about. We haven't talked in a while, and one of the, you know, we're going to talk about sports too and things like that. But you know, just what's going on here nationally. I know you're plugged in with what's happening, and I don't know. We can go anywhere from. Is this the 40th time the Orange One's saying that the war is over now, or you know, what's going on here? I mean, let's give them all the. I think we lost this war.
It appears so, Robert. But according to the Orange One, he's won it 60 times now. And he's going to be the only president that won those same exact wars 60 times and have to pay for his mistakes. So yeah, but you know, it's really interesting that, you know, our president somehow seems to think that, you know, that this something that was already decided, something that was already figured out, he went in and broke it, and now it's actually a worse outcome for this country, and now for the world and for the world's economy. Because what I think Iran gets to do now is they get the surcharge on the oil tankers that they never had to do before, right? These countries never had to do that before. Now they're going to have to do that, and that's only going to add, prices to the gas tank. But here's the like positive side to this, Robert. I think this president is going to go down in history as probably the greenest president because everybody is now switching to electric vehicles and renewable energy because he's raising the cost of electricity and oil and gas prices that no other president could have ever done.
Yeah, really good point there, and I believe their incompetence, it shows when things like this do pop up. Like you said, Bob, it's just like insane, insane in the men brain. I think that used to be a song or something, but yeah, I just I don't know, and I don't know if you saw what our friend Bernie who put up that he wants to unveil a plan to give public direct ownerships to AI companies, and I think that's leaning in the right direction, so we can keep a lid on a lot of things. And we know how much water and energy and things like that are being used, and I don't know. We're at a point right now, again, where other countries are getting way ahead of us with our savings, and this AI is getting way ahead of us with what's going on, whether it's, gathering all this information. I know tribes and language speakers do not want to do AI. They do not want to lose their language and their ways of life and our ways of life through AI, and have them spit out some kind of white bread kind of explanation of who we are and our language.
Robert, this is such a, first of all, I wanted to tell you that as the publication of the circle changes, over into your direction now, and this is actually the article that Ask Solar Bear. Everybody, you're just now finding this out, but Ask Solar Bear is going to have a article, or ask questions from everybody. You can send your questions to me, and I'm going to answer them. But our first main article is going to be about data centers. And interesting enough, Robert, from the research that I've been doing, is that there are multiple non-disclosure agreements that are being signed by public officials and others in these areas in which they're trying to site these data centers, and in these communities in which they're trying to site these data centers in. And first things first is, I don't like the fact that everything is so secretive. I have a problem with that. If it's not bad, then it should be out here for everyone to comment on, to be able to talk about. But there's all these NDAs behind everything. Here's the second thing. I don't think any public official should be signing these non-disclosure agreements. You have a duty to serve the community, to serve your office, to uphold your position, and you should not be signing any of these non-disclosure agreements. Third thing, what I'm finding in this research that I'm doing, Robert, is there's like 40 years of tax breaks. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, 40 years of tax breaks, really, everyone? We are going to give these individuals 40 years of tax breaks and leave our kids, our grandkids, basically with this problem, Robert. There's all this infrastructure that needs to go in because they have to be able to use all this water to cool the servers. And in some of these agreements, only they're able to deal with the water with their people. So there are people. So what's so bad about this water now that only you guys have control of it? You know what I mean? And so there's so many things here, Robert, that I think the public deserves better. And and it's the argument. Well, we're going to be left behind. This is going to cost us jobs. You know what? That's all. Oh, there's workforce development. And, for a lot of these data centers, there's like 10 people working there. There's like 10 to 20 people working there, Robert. That's it.
We
And
heard this during the pipeline. The same scenario is that it's going to bring jobs, and it brought jobs $20 an hour. People holding a flag of stop and go, and all the other union jobs and whatever were from out of state.
And here's the other thing, everyone. There are incentives, tax breaks. You, the taxpayer, is paying these data centers to be built. So these data center people, these tech bros, are going across the country attacking every community that they possibly can because they have to meet these tax deadlines in order to start building these things so they can get refunded basically all their money that they put out there on this, right? And you know where that money goes into, Robert? It goes into their pockets, not the communities.
Absolutely. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're with our friend Bob Blake for the hour, and then towards the end of the hour, Wendy's coming on and giving us an update on our sacred animals. Yeah, I just want people to remember too, not that long ago, we used to save information on external hard drives. Now they're up in the cloud. Now they're gathering all this information on us. I mean, Google's got a big old thing out in Egan, and they're like, it's a good thing, and it's not.
Robert, they told us they weren't harvesting our information. Google said they weren't, and they were. Meta said they weren't doing facial recognition, and Meta is doing that. Now they're saying that data centers is good for us. I'm sorry, Robert. I'm not buying it.
Neither are we, and we aren't here on Native Roots Radio. We'll be right back. Hoa!
Heart health is more than just the physical well-being. It represents like a foundation of vitality, resilience, and the ability to live fully.
Your heart carries stories of resilience, love, and survival. Caring for your heart means honoring yourself and the generations before and after you. It means protecting your ability to gather, laugh, and be present. Learn more about your heart health at hennepincounty.gov/heart-beats, because your story matters and your heart beats for generations.
Phase 2 of the Track and Signals project for the full Metro Blue Line begins June 29th and requires replacement bus service until August 19th. The Metro Green Line will also need replacement bus service at select stations for several dates of the Blue Line maintenance period. Sign up for rider alerts and learn about replacement bus station locations and dates at metrotransit.org/track-signals. Again, that's metrotransit.org/track-signals.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Warmer weather, sunny skies, summer is here. At the Walker, this means mini golf is open on the rooftop. Artist-led activations return to the hillside, and the cinema has a series of curated films. It's the perfect time to visit. Gallery admissions are free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org/summer.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are here with Robert Blake, Solar Bear with the Solar News and Sports here. We were talking a little bit about a lot of stuff here, but we kind of ended up about these big AI plants, and it's interesting. We had the bumper music with the lieutenant governor there, and the attacks on her with this AI. It doesn't even look like her. It's how can people get away with this? How come there isn't a law? All this misinformation, and then they have a AI of lieutenant governor. It's just sickening and bizarre. And we're heading towards that even more and more. It looks like. Oh, Bob, you're on mute.
Yep, Robert, because big tech is buying our government. That's why.
Yeah.
These guys are buying influence, they're buying our politicians, they're, and this is why they're able to get away with all this. And Robert, if I could too, when we were talking about the stuff on the data center stuff, just real quickly, I want to go back to that real quick because down in North Carolina, where they're having this big debate now with these data centers down there. This is interesting. Everybody should listen because this is coming to a community near you. But, electricity rates are going to be raised 18% to be able to basically compensate for all the electricity usage that these data centers are going to be consuming. Okay, so this is every ratepayer, every person that is in that service territory, from Duke Electric, their bills are going to go up just because of data centers. This is to build out the infrastructure, Robert, that is going to have to serve that data center. So think of substations, think of transmission lines, think of all those things that you as a ratepayer pay for. You are now have to pay for that data center to be there to receive all this energy. You, the ratepayer, has to pay that. Here's the problem. Why is it when solar developers like myself have to go out there and interconnect solar to the grid and the utility comes back to us and say, well, you need to make an update. Oh, by the way, this happened to electric vehicle charging stations too.
Oh,
that we're connecting. We have to pay those upgrades. The solar developer or the nonprofit Native Sun had to pay those upgrades to be able to have those charging stations and that solar connected to the grid. Why doesn't the data center people have to pay those same upgrades, Robert? And that's my point. And those are the things that are not being told to the public.
Yeah, exactly. And again, towards the end of the last segment, I was talking about, how it seemed like really good for the community a few years ago. Maybe it's more than a few years ago. Like Google moved to Egan, and what they moved in there was a data center, and I don't have it in front of me, and maybe you know more about this, and maybe I should do some research before maybe the next segment. But I know I've seen stuff pop up on my social media where people are talking about their water's colors change because of the data centers, or there's no water to be seen around because it's sucked it up so much. Um, to me, that's and again, I'm glad you're talking about this, and we're talking about this on Native Roots Radio, but mainstream media has failed us again. What's going on? They're more interested in talking about. I don't even know what they're talking about anymore.
Well, yeah, and I hope that I'm going to say it, Robert, the DFL or the Democratic Party, the corporate Democrats don't get behind this because it's bad for the state, and I don't know if this is related to Steve Grove and him being a Google guy. He used to be with Deed. Now he's with the Star and Tribune. I don't know if he has aspirations to be the governor one day. He's got all those connections to all those tech guys out there. But I'm just saying, and you know how the DFL mafia all get around their one candidate. We talked about this about Angie Craig, right?
Right.
They love their control. Right. And trust me, if I got to choose between the DFL and the My Pillow guy, I'm choosing the DFL every day of the week and twice on Sunday. But But if I could say though that, you know, if this is part of the you know, this corporate Democrat, you know, this is good. Well, it's good for your 401k, it's good for your investments, but it's not good for the $9 trillion that's going to, you know, it's going to be leaving the labor market, because we're going to be taking all these jobs from everybody. You know what I mean? And then what do we do? You know, so we really have to think about, Robert, what we want our society to look like in the future. And part of that is we're going to have to, I think this is going to be a very monumental fight for democracy with these data centers now into the future, because these things, like I said, I think they're the Trojan horse, Robert, to take over everything. Because, like I said, they lied to us about their harvesting our information. They lied to us about, you know, biometrics in the you know, Meta, right, in the face recognition. They're lying to us about these data centers too. And I think these data centers was what they want, so that they can go ahead and they can start having all the stuff that is basically going to be controlling everything, and then taking all these jobs too. So everyone, you really need to be aware of what's happening right now, because this is big stuff right now. Interesting too, when I look at these rules that were left on these data centers, I think it was Tom Bach and Steve Svingham or whatever, two guys that was leaving, you know what I mean? The Minnesota House or whatever, Robert, they were leaving. And this is who is leading this, you know, that led this, right, in the state of Minnesota, right? Hey, everyone, you need to pay attention to all the stuff that's happening, because it's not good.
Well, it's interesting too. You kind of touched on this just a little bit, and I want to make two quick points. One of the points that we were talking about, the media and the person you were talking about, they just laid off 15% of the Star Tribune workers, and this is after doing all this great work when it comes to you know, covering the ice surge and all that happening. They won awards for the coverage, and now they're depleting themselves because they want to make cuts and become a nonprofit or something. And it's just, I guess too. Also, the other point I want to make, Robert, is that you and I are going to vote regardless. These candidates may turn off people not to vote and show up, and we're going to end up in a bad situation when we have people like Angie Craig, or even Klobuchar, you know, who I just, you know, she's an you know, limousine Democrat, and she gets all the publicity. I just remember when Bernie was running for president, and Klobuchar was you know, in 5th or 6th place, and Bernie was in 2nd place. People like MSNBC at the time would all of a sudden magically have Amy Klobuchar on there talking, and I'm going, Bernie needs this. Why don't you have Bernie on? And I think everybody, and part of the reason why Trump got voted in the first time was people were sick of politics as usual, and Trump got a lot of Bernie voters.
Because they're sick of the corporate Democrats and their BS, right? Like, you know, I mean, listen, I'm not against terms, Robert, because like we only get one Bernie, and it's like we need to keep them there. You know what I mean? But the corporations can continuously put like the same stooge, find a stooge all the time. You know what I mean? So, you know, you're right, Robert. I just, you know, if I gotta remember, I have a picture with Klobuchar. You remember that picture?
You know, and it's funny.
I was giving a heck about that.
We were handing out, if people haven't listened to the show before, we were handing out Resist t-shirts, and that's kind of a thing Native Roots Radio has been doing for 10 years. And on the back, there's a logo of Native Roots Radio, but it says Resist, and it has an arrow with eagle feathers hanging from. And next thing I know, we're all taking a picture, and Amy Klobuchar is holding up a Resist shirt, and I'm going, Bob, we're resisting her. She's holding up a Resist shirt.
So, but you know, funny thing though about that, Robert, is that the DFL and the DNC need to be, and Martin, Nick, or what's his name, Martin, you know, the DNC guy comes from Minnesota. I forget his name right now, but anyways, that guy, hey man, listen, dude, you better be taking notes from Donnie over there in New York, because that guy's getting things done. That's what the people want to see. And the only way that we're going to combat, and I've always said it, Robert, the framers of the Constitution, kept tribal nations sovereign for this very reason, that they knew at one point in time that a corporate oligarchy was going to try and take over this government. And the only thing from standing between us and this country becoming a Hunger Games movie are the tribal nations. And so if you believe in democracy, you need to support your tribe and support your local tribal nation, because they're the ones that are going to speak up when your federal officials, state, county, city officials fail you. And you've always seen this, where you've seen tribal chair people or leaders of tribal nations stand up against the degradation of our environment, pipelines, you name it. It's happened time and time again.
Hey, we're here with Bob Blake, Solar Bear with the Solar News and Sports, and this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. Ho! Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Warmer weather, sunny skies, summer is here. At the Walker, this means mini golf is open on the rooftop. Artist-led activations return to the hillside, and the cinema has a series of curated films. It's the perfect time to visit. Gallery admissions are free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org/summer.
When we heal from our traumas,
when we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations.
Phase 2 of the Track and Signals project for the full Metro Blue Line begins June 29th and requires replacement bus service until August 19th. The Metro Green Line will also need replacement bus service at select stations for several dates of the Blue Line maintenance period. Sign up for rider alerts and learn about replacement bus station locations and dates at metrotransit.org/track-signals. Again, that's metrotransit.org/track-signals.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Visit during free Thursday nights. Every week from 5 to 9 p.m., there's something new to explore. Enjoy date-friendly events like artist talks, performances, and exhibition openings, or explore art-making open library hours and exhibition tours. Settle into your weekend among community. Free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low of 53, then Thursday, sunshine with a high of 71. Summer is here, so have a night to remember with dinner and a show at Crooner's Supper Club. Crooner's is located in Fridley on Highway 65, just north of I-694. Check out their concert schedules and dinner menus at croonersmn.com.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. I'm Bobby Wilson. Witcha.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are here with Bob Blake from Red Lake, the Solar Bear with the solar news and sports. But hey, before we get into some sports talk here, Bob, I want to just touch a base on what happened a couple days ago on Tuesday, that the Attorney General, or I should say the DOJ, came in and slapped out 15 arrests, and let me get the proper version here, or the verbiage here, and charges against 15 people involved in anti-ICE actions. And if you look at what the ICE actions are, it's mind-blowing, where some people are calling people out on Facebook, or some people are at protest, some people are running live videos. And I feel like, and I want to get your take on this too, is I feel like this is almost like the precursor to the election, and really scaring people to go vote and things like that, where the federal government's coming in here and saying, if you're against anything, if you protest, you're going to be indicted by the federal government.
That's exactly what it is, Robert. It's an intention to scare people. It's intended to intimidate the American public. You mean you're going to put people in jail for what they said on Facebook, on Facebook? I mean, let's be honest, Robert, like, that is ridiculous. Like, you can't believe half the stuff that's on Facebook, and here's the other point about this. They're trying to charge these individuals too with like conspiracy to like overthrow the government because they're so-called Antifa. Antifa is anti-fascist. It's
right.
United States soldiers, during World War II was Antifa. They were anti-fascist. Oh my God. Please. Are you kidding me? This is just another way for this administration to intimidate regular American citizens, because they want to implement Project 2025. And we're not going to let that happen, because we're going to show up at the polls and we're going to tell this so-called king, of the in this dump administration, that these don't apply here, And Robert, that's what this is really about.
Well, a lot of times, when I'm at a protest, and not lately, but I'll run live video. And now it's almost detrimental to do that, because you're going to be videotaping people that possibly the federal government would like to prosecute, because you threw a dildo at the ICE agents or whatever. And so the ICE agents were and are, they're masked, covered up with no ID. And so it's the opposite. So they're kind of using that too against us.
Yeah. And whatever happened to freedom of the press, whatever happened to like,
Free speech.
Whatever happened to personal property, just this administration is breaking every constitutional, law there is, because, they don't want to have the midterm elections, and they are going to and they know they're going to lose. And the dump family know that they're going to go to jail along with all his kids and everybody else that is there. They're all going to get indicted. They're all going to go to jail, and other countries out there aren't going to want them. And if they don't have an extradition law with the United States yet, they soon will be, because they're going to want to be in good standing with us. and there's going to become a time, Robert, where we're going to be through with this administration, through with this people, and through with these Gestapo tactics. And I'm telling you right now that everybody's going to look back at this time in this period, and they're gonna sit there and question, and their kids are going to question them. What did you do? What did you say? What did you stand for? You know, and I'm telling you, Robert, for those of us like yourself and others that, you know, believe in this country, believe in what it stands for, believe in freedom, you know, we know what we're doing, and we know what we stand for, and we're not going to have to look our kids in the face and say, you know, we didn't do anything.
You know, that's a good segue because I can think of when this person leaves the earth, the celebration will be something like happened with the New York Knicks win. It'll be just so nice like that. So that segues us into some sports. Ho!
Robert, great segue there. We need to get off of that guy for sure. Listen, Olivia Miles is playing her mind out. She is the front runner for the WNBA Women's MVP and Rookie of the Year. No one has done that since Candace Parker, and you know she's a Hall of Famer. And I'm telling you right now, Robert, we are so lucky to have Olivia Miles, and I see the Minnesota Lynx going to the championship.
Well, and I can't wait to get that invite to your suite to come check out.
Exactly. The Minnesota Aurora, the women's soccer team, is also undefeated and is having a really good season. And you know, the Minnesota Twins, man, just won 12-2 against Texas.
Yes, I'm still holding hope, and that's a segue to Native American Heritage Month, I believe, is next Monday. So I'll be going there and getting that jersey and whooping it up with all the other natives.
I might have to. Everyone, Solar Bear is going to be at that game. Everybody, Solar Bear is going to that game. Native American Heritage Night. I know it's like usually sponsored by like Prairie Island, right? They usually do the
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And so awesome. Love Prairie Island. Love our relatives down there. Yes, I am going to that, man. That's going to be so cool. And then, you know, Robert, they're still talking about JJ McCarthy, and you know, we've got these three quarterbacks. What they're saying, Robert, is that Kyler Murray, JJ McCarthy, and Carson Wentz are all splitting, like, you know, reps with the first team. And there's something with the players' bargaining agreement, the NFL players' bargaining agreement, that only a certain amount of reps can be given to the quarterback. And when you're splitting them like that, they're saying that this could be a problem for the offense because, you know, there's not a clear pick as who's going to be the starting quarterback. And because that starting quarterback isn't getting the necessary reps. And remember, Robert, you know, these plays, the things that they do, and not to mention that Kevin O'Connell has got a very difficult system to learn under. Okay. So, you know, he is the quarterback whisperer. I'm sure everything's going to be fine. But I think eventually here, you know, KOC is going to have to make a decision on who's going to get those majority of those first team reps.
Hey, can we segue back to baseball? And I want to talk about the San Francisco Giants baseball pitchers that really messed up their pride hats, and they don't really know where the heck they're living because San Francisco is one of the most progressive, you know, cities in the world. And, you know, they put Bible verses on their hats and, you know, fighting back from their pride hats, and it's just despicable. And you know, people are coming out of the woodwork supporting these homophobes.
Oh man, see, this is because you got the guy up top that's making this okay. You know what I mean? It trickles down even to one of the most progressive cities, LGBTQ friendly cities in the world. Didn't they ever see Harvey Milk? I mean, Come on, man. This is where it's the Castro district. This is where it started, man. And so I think this is terrible. This is a bad move by the San Francisco Giants to cave into this. Understand your community, understand where you're at. I swear, Robert, every time I go out there, and I got family that live in Oakland, so every time I go out there, and I feel like I'm too, like, far right. That's what they make me feel like, because they're so accepting of everything. This is bad deal for the San Francisco Giants, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and then even, they're responding by fining them, but people like the White House, we treat LGBTQ people and full human beings. We think bigotry is bad, but then you have Vance saying that this is an okay thing, and it's he got his handed to him too on the woman's show. What is it? Not The Voice. The
View.
The View. He got, yeah, and people watch that interview because it's amazing, and they did a great job. Again, I mean, some of those guys are reporters, but again, we're getting our news and reports from Variety and comedians as opposed to the news stations.
Yeah. I mean, there's the other part too. I mean, and then you've got these like billionaire oligarchs taking over our media, and I mean, Scott Pelley left 60 minutes. He was 60 minutes. People, we just have to pay attention to what's going on out here, and we really have to organize, because this is everyone. I want to remind everybody what Martin Luther King said. When you have a social problem, you need a social movement. What were they scared of Martin Luther King doing? Getting the class together, the black and white middle class together, right? That's why
he was assassinated when he started protesting the Vietnam War.
Yep. And I'm telling you, Robert, that's what the rich are scared of, because as long as we can continue to fight the culture war, they can continue to control everything. And that's their plan. The rich have been doing it ever since the Roman times, and that's what they're going to keep on trying to do, Robert. But what do we want? We want affordable healthcare. We want free healthcare, Robert. We want affordable housing. We want free housing, Robert. We want free education or affordable education. We should get free education, because we can afford all that, Robert, with us taxing the rich.
Absolutely. Even just a 5%, we could afford all this. And we obviously can afford it by the way we're bombing the heck out of countries and spending billions a day on that. So I always said, make one less B-1 bomber and feed our country, and give us universal health care. Hey, is that the Solar Bear with the Solar News?
That's the Solar Bear with the Solar News and Sports.
Hey, thanks, Bob. Up next, Wendy Pilot. We're going to talk about some sacred animal updates. This is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations.
Phase 2 of the Track and Signals project for the full Metro Blue Line begins June 29th and requires replacement bus service until August 19th. The Metro Green Line will also need replacement bus service at select stations for several dates of the Blue Line maintenance period. Sign up for rider alerts and learn about replacement bus station locations and dates at metrotransit.org/track-signals. Again, that's metrotransit.org/track-signals.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hi, it's Dr. Evan Adams, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio. Hey, Victor, you better be listening.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island. Say no to the hunts.
Hey, welcome back. This is Native Roots Radio, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, I want to bring in Wendy Pilot. Wendy Pilot has been an animal advocate and been on Native Roots Radio for over 10 years, one of the original co-founders of Native Roots Radio, and I've learned so much over the years, and I know there's a lot going on here, so I'm going to hand it over to you right away, Wen.
Thanks, Robert. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them, and I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. Yeah. I'm a humane policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the
This is live, Wendy. We can't do it.
So everybody, so you know, I don't have that written down. It's in my head, and I've been saying the same thing over and over for years. So I don't know what just happened. Anyway, so everybody knows I've been so happy that the rest of the Ridgeland Farms dogs in Wisconsin are finally all being released. We got so many out. And there were around, actually 475 left, and they were just going to keep breeding, using the dogs for experimentations. But finally, negotiations happened with Big Dog Ranch Rescue in Florida and Ridgeland Farms. So all of the beagles are coming out, and I'm just so excited. I really am. Yes, yesterday on ABC News Live, there was almost a 3-minute report on this and what happened, and it just brought tears to my eyes, and I'm just so happy about it. I really am. The activists and protesters, that's me, and all the people who were involved were thanked on this news report, and it just brought tears to my eyes. And again, I'm so happy and grateful. And it's so funny because now today I'm really, really angry. I'm going to tell you why. So, I'm on social media and I see this big post from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what it says. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Resources, thanks to the leadership of President Donald J. Trump and Secretary Kennedy, 475 beagles are being freed from the breeding facility that supplied dogs for animal testing. They will be now transferred to the cage-free, no-kill facility, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what? I had to stop. I had to stop and look to make sure that I was not on a satire page. You know those satire pages? Because that's what
Onion.
that's exactly what I thought I was reading from. But no, it is from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Okay, so now there's over 1.7 thousand replies, and replies on this website. And I mean, I went through, I didn't go through all 1,700
responses,
comments.
yeah,
I didn't,
comments.
But I scrolled through them, and everyone is like, you didn't do anything. Why are you taking credit for this? And people are mad. People are mad about this, and I don't blame them. I'm mad too. There's a couple, just like
I'm stunned.
Like a little bit of a handful of people are like, yay, President Trump,
because they're not paying attention.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on, and they're listening to fake news. So Yes, so there was 7.6 thousand thumbs up, and they were, I mean, on this website. So anyway, I just had to say I was just really
Is it okay if I put the laugh button
yes.
on one more time?
Yes, put the laugh button on. But really, they are really ridiculous. You have to laugh because really now they're
Or you
taking credit back.
cry.
I want to tell you something though too.
Uh-oh.
You know, Congressman from Wisconsin, Mark
Pocan,
Pocan,
yeah.
was right in front of RFK Jr. and said to him, talk to him about the Ridgeland Beagles and what are you doing about it? And RFK said he didn't know anything about it and he didn't think it was true. So that's what he said. He didn't think it was true that there were beagles in this facility, over 2,000 of them. It wasn't true. And now they're taking credit for it. I want to tell you who deserves credit for this.
So I'll stay away from the laugh.
First,
the laugh
yeah,
button.
no.
Okay.
This is applause. So this is the applause button. Do you have one of those? I think you do, right? Awesome. Okay. This deserves applause. So first and foremost, Wayne Chung, he's the founder of the Simple Heart Initiative, and he organized both of the open rescue that happened in March and then in April. So Wayne, thank you so much. You went above and beyond. You got thousands of people on board and talking about this and sharing the information. So I want to thank you so much. Big Dog Ranch Rescue in Florida. And also, I want to, in that same sentence, the Center for Humane Economy, because they got their money together and negotiated with Ridgeland to get the dogs out. So I really want to say that. Congressman Mark Pocan, thank you. You stood by us and you supported us and talked about this, and you got into RFK's face and told him about this, and he didn't believe it. Who else here? Oh, Direct Action Everywhere, another organization. I want to thank Laura Trump. She's on the board of Big Dog Ranch Rescue, and she put a lot of money of her own money in to get these dogs out. So, and listen, all the activists, right? All the activists, the protesters, all the people
Wendy,
who went there.
I want to say thank you to you.
Okay,
I
appreciate
I
that.
saw you how to
played
get.
a very, very small role in. I was there, but it was a very small part. But I was just part of the
people that supported you too. I want to give them a shout out too. From this show, there was so many people reached out to help.
Seriously, people gave me money, and I bought all the supplies for the beagles because we really thought, honestly, that when we went there on April 18th. It was planned for April 19th, but we went a day ahead of time. So we went on, it was very sneaky. And we went on April 18th, but they were ready for us.
Yeah.
Dane County Sheriff.
Bold.
Yeah. Barrett, he had all his deputies there with ready with their bullets, their rubber bullets.
Tear gas.
And their tear gas and their, what else? What's that other thing? Tear gas and pepper spray.
Yeah.
And they had also tasers too.
Well, you got pepper sprayed and tear gas.
I know, it was really bad. I had to throw all my clothes out on that I had on. Anyway, yes, so they were ready for us. And I'm just happy that all of the news organizations and outlets in Wisconsin and elsewhere came in nationally came in to see what happened, and this became such a big story. It was nationwide. So you just see that if you think about something you're not happy about, you want to change it, you're the one that can do it. You could do it. You could join a small grassroots organization and you could just work hard. It doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it takes years to make change, but you just don't stop and you just keep doing it. And again, all those people who gave me money and I went out and I bought all the supplies for the beagles because we really thought, each and every one of us thought we were going to walk out with a beagle in our arms, and it didn't happen. But what happened was I donated all the supplies to the Dane County Humane Society, and they got some of the beagles. And you know what, Robert? I saw that one post, right, with one of the beagles playing with the lamb chop stuffed animal, and it brought tears to my eyes because I bought like 10 of those stuffed animals, and I'm just wondering if that was one of the animals I bought.
I'm sure it was.
It would have been.
I'm going to say yes.
Gosh, I'm going to say yes too.
Hey, Wendy, that's what all this action about here on Native Roots Radio is all about. We're activating people, go out and vote, and and do
Stand
these.
up for what you believe in. Just if you are the change you want to make in the world.
Hey, we'll see everyone tomorrow. Big Peeny Gigi Wendy. This has been Native Roots Radio. Ho!
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. Air stands